Whoa, what's this? Where's Paul? Hey, there he is. Hello,
Ah,
everybody. Welcome to Enough Talk.
is my head like receding more and more? Is it getting darker and darker? Like
It's the,
no, I'm
yeah,
just
the darkness is falling
I'm
across the land.
slowly
The
being.
midnight hour is close at hand. We're talking
I,
today about what do events do, and this is a contentious question. It might seem like this is an obvious thing. They turn face up and they do stuff. Not as clear as you might think. Events used to be these roulette wheel balls that sometimes it fell in, kill all the Shadowlands guy. Sometimes it fell in, immediately win the game.
They
Um,
were balanced because were high variance and unique, and so like some of them did some really insane things, but the payoff was you only had one of them, and you never knew when it was going to show up.
and then
Now it
for a while they
turns
were
out the
like,
ones that were like destroy your opponent or gain 5 gold were good enough pretty much whenever they showed up. So that's nice.
yeah, that was good. Um, for a while, there were these little proto celestials that came out and hung around, and then
That was
you
a
could
weird
throw
time for the
away and
game. I remember, was it Shattered Focus that like forced you to duel and then you could
forced you to
never lose?
focus into duels, and you could discard it to like win the duel automatically. It was a mess. So
But
we
it
have a
was
new
really like
answer.
forcing your opponent to do shit they don't want to do and like rub it in their face
There
that
was
they
all kinds
can't
of that.
possibly.
There's Kakita and there was Shattered Focus at the same time. And do you remember there was like 10 minutes before they ruled that like Kakita is active from your deck, so as long as you included a Kakita in
Oh
your
yeah,
deck, they had to
I
focus.
remember. There was like so you missed. There was like a moment. It's never actually sort of entered gameplay, but there when they first decided Duelist was gonna do something, like the original Duelist trait was like your opponent must focus against. That lasted like I think it was like 3 days. They like posted it, and everybody's like, "Oh hey, look at this! This is complete nonsense." And they're like, "Oh yeah, no, bad idea, bad idea." And like,
Bad
back it
idea,
up, back it
but
up.
what?
Hey,
Back it
calm
up,
the
back it up.
hell down. It's a joke, man. Joke, joke, joke.
I remember the duelists had the swapperoo for a while, where you like
Yeah,
so this you could focus off the top, and then you could like swapperoo with your hand. So it was just like drawing cards, and you'd put your Heaven's
yeah.
Favor, the one that was gain 2 to
So
draw a card, and then you pick up whatever crazy battle action you had.
we've definitely made some progress.
So we have a
And
new answer though for what do events do. Now they give you silly abilities. So let's talk about a bunch of silly abilities we get from events.
right, so this one we'll start with the Vision imparted. And part of me, this is like a sort of card that I kind of would
I
love,
get
or
it.
it's just like, I put in play and I give everything karmic and I cycle through my stuff and I dig for the cards I really want. There's a couple of problems. First off, there's already a million karmic cards. Like you can just have a bunch of karmic cards, right?
Yep.
So like giving other things karmic, like eating a spot, other things karmic. Like how many times do you have to use this before it starts to pay meaningful dividends? The second problem is this: like, what are you digging for? Like,
Yeah. I mean that's the
like
first and the only problem for me. I love
we've
this
talked
card
about this
in
with the
theory.
card draw. We've talked about this card before, but we haven't talked about it a lot in the dynasty. It's like what the sort of, and we're the kind of guys that play these decks that are looking for very specific, like engine pieces, very specific, powerful uniques. I just don't think that's what the game is anymore.
Yeah. And I love Yang Sensei, and I was the guy that
Yep.
specifically tried to play that in a number of shells. And this card goes great in that deck because you don't have to play any of the bad gold that has karmic on it. You can just play all the good gold and turn it karmic and really flush through for what you want. The problem is exactly what Paul says. I have no idea what you want. It's also
Yep.
not clear if this card works with Yang Sensei or if it works with the new Event Sensei. If I'm supposed to be like flushing like crazy to get to my good events for my Event Sensei, or if I'm supposed to be playing Yang Sensei and getting the free karmic and really rattling through to get to
Yep.
I don't have a complete
And
answer for that. So
it's worth mentioning too. I think that giving something karmic lets you cycle it, but it still costs you 2 gold. And
yeah,
so,
yeah,
like,
but
I
so
mean,
the
if you
sensei
have
makes it
three of
free or
these
the
and three of the holding that lets you,
Kumate grounds, yeah.
like 3 Kumari grounds, and then you can burn through your deck, and then
Right, and that's just the
question.
question is like say if I construct a deck that can empty its dynasty in 4 turns,
Yep.
okay, which means that I can play any 3 cards out of my dynasty deck. Like what 3 cards? Like tell me what are the 3 cards that are so powerful I want to blank my whole deck to get to them, and there's no answer for that. It's
Yep.
like what a good card is in this environment is a good role player, like a solid guy with a solid battle action. There's no Shadow Dragon XP2. There's no Bayoshi Sinatra XP2. There's no Chagatai XP3. It just doesn't exist. so don't worry about it. These sorts of cards, and Once Upon a Time would be really good, and so I read them and I sort of get stuck in that Once Upon a Time line of thinking. But we're not in that era. This isn't a good card.
I will say, and we've commented on this before, the slow elimination of the word limited from our cards. Again, this is a set where you don't see limited on any of the cards anywhere.
Yeah.
Card, like right now, this might change. I'm kind of hoping it does. Maybe come and open. They may finally get to that point in Onyx where it's an open. But right now, you have this delightful word. As an open, I will give this card my.
Well, remember the young Sensei makes Karmic an open, so
Right,
that's
what
just like
Young Sensei does, but I'm saying like outside of Young Sensei, it just feels sort of a weird thing, right?
yeah, I agree.
I guess it just points all the way further to slowly getting implemented. Like they're just gonna go away.
Let's talk about a really good one though, Coronation Festival.
Yeah, I mean we love the spitter box, and here you go.
This card is so good. This is just total gas. This is better than the spider box because like you get a number of times equal to the difference.
Right.
So if you're playing like Dirtles, this is like Dirtles City. This is Come Back from Behind City. It works just fine with the spider box because you get reflip +1. So if you're down a province, you get 2 flips. This will be definitely played in Spider. It will be probably played
Now, and it's specifically designed so that you can play multiples. You can only resolve one, but as soon as you have one, it's sort of on for a good value.
Yeah, but it's Karmic for whatever.
You're gonna see this in honor decks. You're gonna see this in Dirtles decks if Dirtle decks become a thing. I mean that's a powerful ability. The ability to lose provinces and maintain momentum. There might even be a few shades of other type of military deck that are in the market for this. I could see, if we ever get to a deck where people are trying to play 8 gold, 10 gold cost guys, and so, I just need to hit one guy on my provinces and buy a bunch.
This does
Coronation Festivals coming into play.
This does like open up strategies that just allow you to not play for the first 2 provinces.
Right.
I'll buy gold for 3 turns and have no cost because of that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I'm interested to see if that's a real thing. I'm excited for this card. I think it's a clearly good card in a way that we haven't really reviewed yet in this set. Like this is just good. It goes everywhere.
Yeah, and it's one of those events that sort of it can actually, political standoff was kind of that way, where it sort of can change the complexion of the game once you have it resolved. And the fact that you can play 3 of it means it's reliable to let your C1, so you can sort of contort your deck around trying to put it into play.
Yep.
I do worry. I don't know if this will cause, if this sort of event would cause something like Absolution to see play again. There'd be a little bit of fear about building your deck around it and then not getting them to resolve. But this is a really cool event, and I've got a playmat with that art on it that I like. So hooray!
Hooray! Right. All right, one more. Another one that I'm sort of excited for. I don't know if it's good because I don't know how many times you can use it in a single game. Like at its highest conception, it's at its lowest, it's a glimpse of the unicorn. At lowest, it's worse than a glimpse of the unicorn. But at its highest, it's like a pretty powerful card selection.
Right. At its highest, it's like you drop some number of discipline cards and draw some other number of cards and just increase your total number of battle effects. I don't think this will ever actually get in. Like we've talked about this before. It's like, so I'm dropping a card to draw a card. Well, what card am I getting rid of? I want to be getting rid of a discipline card to draw some other powerful card, but it's not bad. If I had a strong enough, if I had a good, strong enough military core, and I was comfortable, and I was at, I'd hit my 20, 22 guys, 20-something, I could see this being probably a 2-off. I don't think I could ever go to this in triple kit, but I like it. I like the sort of theoretical abilities it could give me. I could see, but you're right. It's just how often are you going to trigger this?
You can't have multiple instances of the ability, right?
You can. It's true.
So if you have 2 or 3 of these in play, you can't discard 2 or 3 and draw 2 or 3. And we talked about with Jin Instance of the Desiccated and enslaved Jin cards like this. I think that there's some potential for throwing away cards like those, and then you can buy them back from the bin.
Yep. And then they just So. Events it's tough.
to win a game of L5R, you need to have solid gold structure and solid personality structure. Like those
Yeah.
are the hard.
You can't be running
only so much.
6-7 events.
There's only so much space to get into your deck events, and I don't know if I can squeeze in an Exodus, but I can definitely see a deck that's built to take advantage of it that does some games just like really, get motor in.
Just goes off for sure. And then, so those are our 3 events. We're going to just do the 2 senseis together with this. Talk about Hero Sensei really quick. I don't know what this card is or what it's supposed to do. It's just confusing and upsetting. I don't like the limiting trait. This is not a super powerful ability. I don't think it needs sorts of like text like that. I think that limiting it to 1 card face up per turn. I don't know why it just didn't turn all your provinces face up.
Well, I kind of see that, and it bows, so it's very hard to get it in multiple cycles. I think they were worried about some kind of deck that could deplete itself. You start with 40 cards. It should take you not 10 turns, but it should take you maybe 6 or 7 turns to work your way through your entire dynasty deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even with famouses and flips and stuff. Like, they didn't want to be able to accelerate you too much because they didn't want your starts to be too consistent. So my guess is they just sort of picked a number that seemed to make sense. I don't know if that made, like, I don't know. I understand.
That's an argument against the ability of only flipping 1. So, like, if you had a deck that was 40 events and this flipped all your provinces.
That's why it only flips 1. I don't know about the 6 actions. That confuses me.
The problem I have is that there's no good events. So, like, who cares? It's not like I'm.
Well,
it's not like
talked
I'm
about there's playable events. I mean, there's
right, but I'm having a 40 events deck or like a 37 events deck with 3 guys, and then I'm playing only 3, Hitomi, Miyamoto Hitomi, and I'm playing a Death of Onataku deck.
Yeah, you're right. To me, this is
just one giant head scratcher.
Yeah, and maybe the card pool will expose something to us. So maybe when I start, I will try to build a Hero Sensei deck in the same way that I try to build a Sensei deck, like a deck for every Sensei. But it just doesn't seem like it's going to give you a whole lot. I guess it's nice in that it helps me play coronation festivals.
Right,
and
that's the thing.
Unit decks and just keep cycling through to see some cards.
It's nice in the sense of it's basically free, like -1 province strength. Frankly, it could have just been 0/0/0 because the ability is so random. But I think that like decks that play like a Wisdom Gained and a Coronation Festival, like, and they don't have any other sensei they want, they could reach for Hero Sensei just cause.
Mm-hmm.
But I think -1 province strength is a bigger cost than sometimes we think.
Absolutely.
Like going from 7 to 6 is big.
It's not trivial. People want it to be trivial, but it's absolutely not.
It feels trivial because it's not the sort of thing it's projected into your face. Like, it's tough to go back and evaluate a game and realize that there was a battle early on that, like, he couldn't have generated the force, but then you had a -1, so he did, and took the province, and that was the game.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I think head scratcher is the right word for this, and maybe somebody in the comments will tell us. Maybe they've sort of already identified a Hero Sensei strategy. My other thought with this is, like, when you have one that's just sort of just random, I feel like this should be an all clans thing. I mean, I know they're trying to break it up. The next sensei I'm going to look at is for the other clans, and this is when they're just this odd, I feel like they should be opened more broadly.
It feels like this should be Dragon too, by the way.
It does, yeah. I don't know what the flavor here is. I think it's just kind of
whatever, like Mantis. I don't know what they're doing.
I think it's just hodgepodge. I mean,
Agreed.
I think they're just.
Well, I sort of know what it is. It's just that, like, the next sensei, if we click over, is like a magistrate thing, right? This is sort of like you destroy cards, gain honor. So they just Dragon's got a magistrate theme right now. Unicorn's got a magistrate theme right now. Like,
and we hate this card too, right? Like, this doesn't, like, all your ranged attacks now gain you an honor. Is there enough ranged attacks so you gain me? I mean, it's one of those just the math equation cards. And I feel like if I'm playing honor, I can just play different honor cards, and it's kind of tough to destroy. I guess It lets you shoot a bunch of dirtly followers and gain little bits
Yeah, I
of
don't think this
honor.
card is bad by any stretch of the imagination. I think that it'll gain you
It's-
a solid 5 or 6 honor over the course of the game.
I think it's probably better than something like Yodo Sensei for Dragon.
Absolutely. But
Um,
I just don't know, like, because the dragon, like the defensive honor decks tend to reach for bow effects. I mean, maybe I'm
Yep.
wrong in my head thinking that way, but the gain 2 honor cards are all bow effects.
yeah. Yeah, so this lets you try to play a more attrition-y type deck and still get value. The problem is that it's kind of hard to actually consistently keep killing. You know,
Oh,
if
yeah,
you
of
kill
course.
5 cards with your card, and the Sensei's gained you 5 honor, and okay, that's great because you've killed some stuff and gained 5. Problem is like it's kind of tough to kill some cards that way. I mean, it is.
I mean, because you can blow up followers. I don't know that I buy that argument. Like, you can always find something to shoot with your Unholy Strike. You can always find something to
Sure, and
Serenity.
turning come one at a time into also gain a few points of honor makes it like even funner. But
Yep. So I can see a dragon deck specifically that plays like come one and a bunch of like ranged attacky stuff, and the guy that makes 2 ranged attacks that you lost to, and
well, Crab too. Like Crab
Well-
can't play the fortification, and they've got a bunch of like guys who just defend and make ranged attacks. I don't
Sure.
know. Again, and you know maybe it'll help in a switch scenario, but I tend to doubt it's going to produce that much honor over the course.
fair
of the
enough,
game.
fair enough. My question is the honor gain? I guess the honor gain is from this card, Ichigo Sensei, not from the card that destroyed the card, right? So I can't
Mhm.
play my 7 gold lion guy like Serenity and then draw a card.
No, I do not believe so.
Wow.
So I
So-
think
So this guy's a little more straightforward than Hira Sensei. I get it, but he's the same sort of tacked on. Neither of these sensei are Yajindan Sensei in the sense that they make me want to go back and look through the card pool. They're just
No.
sort of, oh, I can make a couple extra Weehi, or oh, I'm playing a few events and I don't really know what to do. Like here's this.
But we've seen that before, and that when they make these senseis that are sort of cross-faction like that, they can't be like they're just
Well,
you know they
Titanic
have to.
Sensei was a big hit for me, and I thought that was a solid
That's
card. That was
true.
just good.
You're right. No, that's a 4 point. If only I could play Tataki Sensei and Ichigogo Sensei, then I'd really be off to something.
Then we'd really be after the races. So as long Brian Race reprint the what was it, the House of the Crow, the one that lets you switch senseis out.
Say, yeah, or what's the Scorpion box? Kundin Bayushi could have.
Yeah, they have
oh,
2
could
wins.
Two wins. Yeah.
Two
Where's my
senseis. Where's my 2
Where's my
senseis?
2 Sensei? There's gotta that could be a dragon thing. Like they're very mystical. They have
Confusing.
multiple teachers.
They'd have to be like the sensei that says you may have another sensei, and then he would have to do something like marginal himself.
No, just a box. Their whole box. It just like you
They
can
don't
have
print new
eight.
boxes anymore. I kind of miss boxes, by the way. Now that we're talking about it.
I mean, you know, they don't like starter decks. They want booster packs. There's a lot of reasons for it. So
You really tell me they can't distribute boxes another way? Okay. This has been enough talk going off the rails. We'll be back.
regulars, everybody.
We'll be back with some more stuff next time. Leave a comment. I'm Jesse. That's Paul. Catch you next time.